Welcome guys, welcome to That's My Kind of Cooking. Today we're going to be making chicken and dumplings, and I have done boiled my chicken, and I'll show you my stock. This is my broth for my chicken. You can see that it looks pretty good. I've pulled the chicken off the bones. I used leg quarters. I usually look for chicken that's got the most fat. It can be breast, or it can be leg quarters or thighs or whatever, whichever's got the most fat. And we're going to pour the chicken into the broth and bring it to a boil, and we'll go from there. As you can see, the chicken is now in the broth, and it looks pretty good. And now we're going to go over here and we're going to start the dumplings. Sorry about the shaking, guys. Okay, I'm going to start out. Some people use plain flour. I use self-rising. And I start out with about 4 cups of flour for that pot right there. That's 1. 2. 3. And 4. And normally I don't use my countertop, but I've done cleaned my countertop, and I'm going to use it. Just make sure if you use your countertop, you don't use a sharp knife, because it will cut and scratch your counter. Now I lay it out like that. Then I'm going to take the water. I've measured out some water, about 4 cups, which I won't need at all. And you just mix it, and you'd want it to form where you can just get it to where you can roll it out. You don't want it real wet, and you don't want it real dry. So I've used half the water, and I'll use some more, about 3 cups now. And if you get a little too wet, you can add a little more flour, it don't matter. But I'll rake it out like this, put some flour across the counter, and then I sprinkle the top of it real quick before I dump it, like that. And I rake it out onto my area, wherever I'm rolling it, like so. Set that up out of the way. And then you want to work it. You want to work the flour into it, because that's going to be your gravy that's going to end up coming off your dumplings to stick in them. Take you a little bit of more flour and just kind of pat it out and just keep working them. And you want them to stiffen up like so. You just keep working it. Like that. Take and sprinkle as however much you need, it don't matter. Just keep working them, tighten them up is what you're doing. I like to mine really be really tight when I make them, so they'll flatten out good. We're about ready to roll. I like to get them all worked in good, and then I start rolling it out like so. You want to roll it kind of thin or thick, however you like your dumplings, like so. And it don't have to be perfect. I mean, they don't have to be perfect size or nothing. And if they feel a little wet, then sprinkle you a little more flour across the top. And just work it in, like so. Like that right there. Okay, and then you start cutting them. And like I said, I would not use a knife, I'd use a butter knife. I use a plastic butter knife. That way I don't risk cutting the countertop. But you just cut them in like into 1-inch little squares or however thick you want them. Like so. You know, you can cut them a little bigger if you want to, or a little smaller. Depends on you. Just keep cutting them up like little squares till you use it all. Oop, that stuff is a butter knife. But you just cut them all up till you get them all cut. Oop, that's stuck. Get a little stuck right there. If they stick to your countertop a little bit, you'll take your knife most of the time and go underneath it, it'll pop them right loose. I usually raise up on it like that, and that way I can work them loose. Just keep cutting them till you get them all cut. And then if you like a lot of gravy to them, the best thing to do is sprinkle a little more flour up top the dumplings when you're done, like so. And then you can grab them up however many at a time. I grab usually a handful, bring them over, and I'll put them in my pot that's boiling with my chicken and stock in it. And I'll show you this. Sorry about the moving around, guys. As you can see, they're going in the pot. And they'll start out big and fluffy, but as they cook, they'll settle down to the bottom, and that way you'll know they're done. I just bring them over, drop them in. And as you drop them in, they'll, like I said, they'll settle to the bottom when they start cooking and they go down. You can use plain flour, and mix all the other stuff in with it. I don't do that. I just use self-rising. But you just drop them in there and let them go where they want to, and then you cook them. And as you cook them, they will settle down and float down to the bottom, and that way you'll know they're done. And the chicken's in there, as you can see, the chicken's down in there. You just stir it up. Whoop, I didn't mean to throw that out, but we'll get that up in a minute. But put them all in there. Stir them all in. And then I'll season it with salt and pepper. And the best thing to use for, believe it or not, for the seasoning dumplings is you take the ramen noodles and you open them up, and that little pack of seasoning in there is one of the best seasonings you can use. And you can take a little bit of that and you just put a little bit in there. You don't have to use the whole pack, just enough to season it a little bit more for extra flavor. My son likes that taste, and that's the reason why I put it in there. You don't have to use it. But if you get good chicken with good broth, you shouldn't need it. And these will cook about, I'm going to say about 20-25 minutes, and then by then they'll cook down. But you see how thick and creamy they're getting already? Time you get done, it'll be like gravy. And that's the way you do it. Enjoy the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And happy cooking to you. Thank you for coming in. Bye.